Hi everyone, we're going to find the second derivative of each of our functions. We have 6 here, and so the first one, we're going to go ahead and take the first derivative. So that's going to be 4 times 3/2 x to the 3/2 minus 1, and in that case it would be 2 over 2. So this is going to equal 6x to the 1/2. And then we're going to take the second derivative, and that's going to be 6 times 1/2 times x to the 1/2 minus 1, which is going to be 2/2. So it's going to be 3x to negative 1/2, which equals 3 over x to the 1/2, or 3 over square root of x. Okay, the next one we have is this one. So we're going to take the first derivative, which equals a 1, and then we're going to have plus 32 to the negative 2 times x to the negative 2 minus 1. So it's going to be 1 minus 64 x to the negative 3. And I'm going to go ahead and leave it like that before I take the second derivative. And the second derivative of 1 is just 0. Then I'm going to have negative 64 times negative 3x to the negative 3 minus 1. So that's going to equal 192 x to the negative 4, which equals 192 over x to the 4th. Okay, the next one we have is this one. So we're going to have to use the quotient rule on this one. So I'm going to take the first derivative by taking my denominator, multiplying it by the derivative of the numerator, minus my numerator times the derivative of the denominator over my denominator squared. And that's going to equal x minus 1 minus x over x minus 1 squared, which equals negative 1 over x minus 1 squared. Now we're going to take the second derivative of that, doing the same thing. You take the derivative, well, basically on this one, you take the derivative of, I'm going to go ahead and FOIL this out because we haven't studied the chain rule yet. So this is x squared minus 2x plus 1. So I'm going to go ahead and use this for that. So we're going to have x squared minus 2x plus 1 times the derivative of my numerator, which is just 0. And then you subtract your denominator, your numerator, derivative of your numerator is 0. And that's going to be, so we're going to have negative 1. It's doing something wrong. So my numerator is negative 1, and I take the derivative of this one, which is going to be 2x minus 2, all over my denominator, which is x minus 1 squared, and then to the 4th. But squared again. So that's just going to be x minus 1 to the 4th. All right, that cancels. 2 negatives make a positive. So what we get is 2 times x minus 1. I'm factoring out the x minus 1 there. And the denominator, we have x minus 1. We have 4 of these. X minus 1, x minus 1, x minus 1. All right, so one of these cancels, so our answer is going to be 2 over x minus 1 cubed. Okay, the next one is take the first derivative of this one. So we get 2x plus 2. And when you take the second derivative, that's going to equal 2. right? And let's see. If we take the derivative of f of x equals x squared plus 2x minus 1 over x, then take the derivative of that using your quotient rule. So that's going to be x times the derivative of the numerator minus the numerator times the derivative of the denominator, which is just 1, over x squared. So when I clean this up, I'm going to get 2x squared plus 2x minus x squared minus 2x plus 1 over x squared. And simplifying this, these two cancel. So we're going to get we're just going to get 1x squared plus 1. So x squared plus 1 over x squared. Now we're going to go ahead and take the second derivative. So the second derivative of this is I take my denominator times the derivative of the numerator minus my numerator times the derivative of the denominator. Okay, so then this is all over, this is going to be x to the 4th. So cleaning this up, we get 2x cubed minus x squared. Oops, we're going to multiply by 2x, so it's going to be minus 2x cubed minus 2x over x to the 4th. So this gives you, that cancels. You get negative 2x over x to the 4th, which equals negative 2 over x cubed. Okay, we have sine here, so we're going to take the first derivative of sine, and that's just going to be 3, and derivative of sine is cosine of x. You take the second derivative, and derivative of cosine is negative sine, so I'm going to bring it out front. And that's all that is. And the last one we have is secant. So we take the first derivative. Derivative of secant is secant x times tan of x. And now we're going to take the second derivative using our product rule. And our product rule states that you take the derivative of, you keep secant. Derivative of tan is secant squared. Plus, now we're going to write tan, and derivative of secant x is secant x times tan of x. Now we're going to clean this up, so we get secant x cubed plus tan x secant x times tan squared. And to straighten this up, I can just factor out one secant. Just make it look a little better. That's going to give you secant squared of x plus tan squared of x. And again, like I said in other videos, you need to practice this step from here to here, because when derivatives get more complicated, you're going to want to be able to cancel out terms. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.